Happy Sundays with Cinnamon.
Hi, everyone.
I always do that. I do that after each one. And speaking of what I wanted to speak about today was the GOOP, the good opinion of people.
Yeah.
And since doing Sundays with Cinnamon, it's been quite amazing how many people let us know what they want us to change about Sundays with Cinnamon.
Exactly.
Whether it's speaking louder, which that one I completely understand. What have we've had, Cinnamon, take the gum out of your mouth. We've had,
I actually noticed that.
yeah, we have let's get a prettier backdrop. And one of the reasons you and I are having so much fun with this is we want it to be real and raw, and if the phone rings or if the dog barks, whatever occurs, so this is just real life. And in real life, things are going to show up. And what are we going to do about it in that moment? Because real life, we can't just sit here and control everything. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, everything. I really love when people give negative feedback because it helps me to go in and reinforce what I know. I'm not one to say, just because it doesn't agree with the way I go about things, to say that it's not powerful information, because the information, even when I don't agree with it, helps reinforce in me what I know about what is spiritually correct for me and for the message that I want to convey in the world. And that I would not have started this Sundays with Cinnamon if it had been in some structured, rehearsed environment. Now, again, the grand contradiction is, if Oprah Winfrey said to me, come to my studio, and that I would be there in 1 minute, not with a rehearsed script. It would be because she's the most amazing woman on earth and the most powerful and can reach so many people.
I'm sorry, you're the most amazing woman on earth,
Okay,
as far as I'm concerned. Sorry, Oprah.
Thank you. Thank you. And I love her, and I trust her platform. And there are things I want to say to her that I know would be a gift to her. So I'm not saying that I'm not in a never this or that. God help me the day I am. I would never, or to believe that anyone or anything would never. And then when I hear people say always, I think of my little grandma who is Italian, and she would always say, always is tomorrow and never is the day after tomorrow. So it's like you spit in the air, it's going to fall right on your head any minute now. So I don't have an always or never mentality, and being in the moment, this works for me. I love this environment. If everyone could see this beautiful home that Kathleen has, it would just be so touching for you to see that she is so grounded and so peaceful in herself, for the most part, that this is wonderful, and she really loves it and appreciates it and doesn't need it. And this is, and my tiny space has the same effect for me. It's my tiny peaceful space. And that's what I would love for everyone, is to get out of the good opinion of others and get into creating an awareness of yourself that is so pleasing and so grounded that you welcome people's corrective or negative criticism, because you're only going to do what is spiritually correct for you. And that's what Rumi is talking about, the land between the land of good and bad and right and wrong and up and down. I'll meet you there. And I'll give you everything that I can afford to give, moment to moment, in that place. And that invites people who are so desolate, people who are suffering tremendously with alcoholism or drug abuse or any abuse. it just provides such a safe place, whether it's grand or it's small. It's a safe, peaceful place, and that's what matters.
I have loved how we do Sundays with Cinnamon in different spots, depending where we are, and
Exactly.
that I haven't minded. I mean, I have to say, the one day we did it in the rig, and there was your painting
Explain the
behind.
rig.
The rig is where Boots, your daughter, lives, right next door to her now ex-husband. And wow, that's a whole nother.
And between my place and his
Yes,
place,
yes.
she's in the middle.
Yeah, she's in the middle. And she flipped a coin through their divorce and said, whoever gets heads or whatever gets the rig, and the other one gets the house. And that's a whole nother story. But so we were in the rig that day, and just very difficult to get lighting and the backdrop.
To meet your model.
To meet my models. And so when I do look at those, I do notice I'm in the good opinion of my own mind.
Exactly.
And
Wait, stop there. Let me
Yes.
just say that is what I really want to convey most to people. You are not what your mind thinks you are either, because you're not your mind.
Yes.
You are the spirit, the essence, the instrument of divine love that just loves you and doesn't need for you to be a certain way and doesn't need for all the ducks to be lined up in a certain, because one of them's going to move anyway, and then you're going to use all up your time all up lining everybody up again. That's the control issue we were talking about. And so just if you get nothing out of any of this today except that I am not even what my mind thinks. Go with what you know, and what you know is in your core. And so strengthen your core. And remember, that means physically, emotionally, spiritually. Because you have to have that. I think of it as a rope. If one of those strands is frayed, it weakens the whole. So you want to care for your mind, your body, your spirit, so that you are solid, whole, and complete. And then you'll learn to do your thinking from your core, which is strong, and trust it.
Which is the only way to peace.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So for everyone out there right now that is not creating peace in their life, what are they not doing?
They're not choosing love.
Mm-hmm.
Because love and peace are synonymous. You can't have one without the other. Because peace...
And they're trying to please
their
society.
mind, or their own minds. I want to look good. And the trouble with that is you just get done meeting your husband's model or your kid's model or both of their models, and then your mother comes along and says, well, you're not meeting mine. Okay, so now if the model for my mother doesn't fit the model for my husband and my kids, here we go again. There's no,
round and round on the hamster wheel we go.
You can never be at peace living your life according to someone else's model.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And your peace has to be more valuable and more important to you than anyone or anything. And for some people, that's a tough pill to swallow. Because, well, my kids have to be more important than this, or my husband has to be more important. When that occurs, believe me, ultimately, you will end up, and it may take 40 years for it to occur, you will end up an unhappy person because you haven't lived your life freely. Mm-hmm. And then it's time to lay down and die, and you know it, and it's...
You know, I'm an avid watcher of Super Soul Sunday, and it was really interesting this week because Oprah and there was a Dr. Brene Brown. Have you watched her at all? Anyway, they were on there speaking about comments that people make, really cruel comments of people who are not being their true self. Mm-hmm. And what I noticed was that Dr. Brene Brown and Oprah were basically saying, don't read the comments.
Oh, take care of the symptoms, not the cause.
Yes. And
I mean.
That means they're in the good opinion of people if they are affected by that comment.
Yeah, and the avoidance of pain, which is created by being addicted to people not criticizing you or not commenting. And so that's the little nudge, the little nuance that I would want to introduce to Oprah, because when she...
This is so important, because
Yeah.
I watch this and I'm just going, "Arr," at the television set, because...
Well, when she adopts that,
Yes.
and she might through someone else someday, when she adopts that, that's it. She is so rock solid. I want her to be president, even now. I mean, just run for president, please. And so, because I love her. And when you love
She's
someone...
a true humanitarian.
Yeah, and when you love someone and you have something that's so of value that you want to share, you just do. I mean, how I could be judged as so pompous that I would dare to say that I have something to offer Oprah Winfrey.
For free, without anyone needing to ever know.
Yeah, yeah. And I
This
will
isn't-
risk that. I will risk that if that would be the catalyst for that occurring.
And to think we live only 1 hour away
I know,
from
and
Santa Barbara, where she lives. And it's like,
I would swear to her, slip into town. I won't even tell my children you're coming, just so that she knows that she doesn't have to deal with anything or anyone, and just take what I give her and go away and use it or not use it. Oh, that would be a dream come true for me.